Hey everybody, what's going on? God bless you guys. Hope y'all having a wonderful day. I know, I'm not on as much as I was before. Life happens, but life's not about how many times you fall. It's about getting back up, getting on the horse, and keeping it going. So I'm not gonna allow the number of times I upload or lack of times that I upload to hinder me. I'm gonna keep it pushing, and I hope that you guys, whoever's still subscribed and still enjoying my content. I hope you guys continue along for the ride. I hope you guys are sharing these messages with people that you know. I try to be relatable. I try not to dilly dally on things that really don't matter. So hopefully it's relatable, and if it is, then it's gonna be relatable to somebody else, and hopefully you'll push on the message. So I'm a thinker. Excuse the lighting. It's evening. I usually do videos midday, get some natural sunlight. That's not gonna happen tonight. So also I got a new camera, so I'm trying to work with it. Hopefully, the settings are correct. I'll work with that too, but this is where we're at. So to get to the meat of the video, sometimes I sit around and I think about things often. And one thing that's been on my mind is, have you guys ever thought about sayings that people usually say, and maybe they mean well, but when you think about it, it just don't quite sit right. I'm a little bit different when it comes to parenting, right? I could be, known as being overprotective, which is, it's kind of like to each his own on that. You know what I mean? We tend to have we tend to be a people that majority rules kind of people. And I'm usually about the 5%, the 10%. I'm usually on, I'm usually not against the grain. I'm usually not with the flow of things. So I'm always kind of feeling like, outcasted a little bit because my mindset is very different. But that makes me think even more because, one thing that I shared in a recent video is that nobody wants to be wrong. So there's a reason people think a certain way. There's a reason people share certain things. I don't think anybody really wants to live their life pointlessly. You know what I mean? So to bring it home, what I'm talking about is one thing I've been thinking about is when people tell you, remember when you were that age. So like I said, I'm a parent, right? And a lot of times as I'm raising my kid, I'm trying to do things as a parent. I'm trying to raise him up. I'm trying to help him see things a certain way. And a lot of times people will come at me like, hey, man, you don't think you're being too hard? I mean, remember when you were that age? And what they're trying to say is, don't you think you should loosen up a little bit? He's only doing what you did when you were that age. You were curious. You were into things that you shouldn't have been into. And that's true. That is true. You know what I mean? I'm not going against that. But as I've grown up, I've learned a lot over the shoulder. You know what I mean? This is just an example, you know what I mean? I don't know why I chose this one, but hey, it is what it is. So don't get mad at me out there, for my examples. I'm not attacking anybody specifically, but I've never had to deal with child support payments. Nor do I plan on discovering the woes and the difficulties of that situation because I've known too many people that have been through that situation and have been hit and have been hurt and have been crushed. You know what I mean? Why do I have to go through that? I've learned that's not an area that I want to be in from other people, right? So although my son has a little bit of allergies, guys, I'm sorry about that. Although my son is acting in a way that I can see myself in him. When people say, you remember when you were that age, it's like, yeah, but also how was I raised at that age? Maybe I got into things because I didn't have as much guidance as maybe I should have had. I didn't have somebody on me as much as maybe I should have. So, I have to take into consideration that just because my son is like me doesn't mean that he has to exactly experience things that I have experienced. It's even better if I see myself in him, because I'm almost like a sidekick. I can see the future because I've been there. I see myself in this kid, right? So if I see myself in this kid, I see the direction he's going. And if I remember how I was, and I remember chasing certain women and the trouble that it got me in, why would I not, if I see my son on that path, jump in front of him and say, "Oh man, can we talk a minute? Hold on, brother. This is kind of a rerun episode. I've seen this episode before. I was there. What you're doing, I've done." And let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, the recipe for disaster is very, very similar. You know what I mean? It's just like making a cake. You put certain ingredients, you're going to get a certain cake. You act a certain way, you sprinkle in some rebelliousness, you sprinkle in, mom and dad both working, nobody looking out for the kid, kid raising himself, you add these ingredients, and 9 times out of 10, we can see the recipe. We can see what is about to be presented. We can see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I'm a big believer in learning over the shoulder. So when somebody tells me, remember when you were that age, I know that they mean well, and I can tell what they're trying to tell me. They're trying to tell me, "Hey man, take it easy. Let them experience." I don't think like that. And I'm here to suggest that you don't also, or at least think for yourself. We kind of go with these phrases that we've heard over the years, and we kind of just go with the flow. But think about, you know what I mean? Like that phrase. Remember when you were that age, a lot of people will be like, yeah, you know what? Let me back up. You know what I mean? Let me kind of ease back and let him go through. But I'm thinking like, yeah, I remember when I was that age. You're right. I better really get up in them. I better really a lot of people think that, if you get too involved, you might drive your kid away. That could be true. But my thing is, I'd rather do as much as I feel that I can, and have zero regret. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's no manual to having kids, right? But let's not just go with these cute little catchphrases, these cute little phrases that, even though people mean well, you got to, think about it. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I know my kid, you know what I mean? So I'm a tough parent. I am, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. A lot of people look at that like, "Oh man, he's too hard on him. His kid's going to be rebellious when he's a certain age and whatever. You know what I mean? And, no kid is the same. Everybody's different. You can have kids in the same household growing up under the same kind of doctrine and rule. And you have, I come from a family of 3, and we are 3 very different people. And we were all pretty much raised under the same principles, the same type of parenting technique, but we're all different. So you got to take each child as they come, ask God for wisdom, and do as you see fit. You know what I mean? You're the parent of that child. You know that child. It's like your car, right? If you got a hoopty, you know that you got to get in, jiggle the key a few times, hit the brakes a little bit, and tap it on the dashboard to get it started. Somebody else come in your car, you got to explain that to them because that's your baby, that's your car, that's you know what's up. You know what I mean? You have a connection with the vehicle, right? Somebody could be a car person and and they still won't understand how to turn your hoopty on, right? They're gonna have a problem with that because you got that connection with that car. It's the same thing. You got that connection with that boy, with that baby girl. So do what you see fit. Trust God. Look at the Bible. Read Proverbs, as my brother K Dog was reading this evening, which is the book of wisdom. Solomon wrote the book. To my understanding, he asked for wisdom, and God gave it to him, as well as a bunch of other things, because he was so blown away that this man would ask for wisdom, because most of the time we just ask for the immediate need, the immediate thing that we want, instead of thinking about the big picture. You know what I mean? I'm kind of looking into investing right now too. It's kind of like the stock market. You know what I mean? A lot of people go in and they have the right plan, and as soon as they see a shift, they want to sell, and pull out. You know what I mean? You got to trust your gut, and you got to go in. And if you're going to go in, go in. It's the same thing with your kid. You investing. If you're going to go in and you're going to purchase this stock, let it ride. Go for it. Go in and ride it out. You know what I mean? Because these people that pulled out, they lost a bunch of money. But if they would have let it ride, eventually the market comes back up, right? So you got to let it ride, like the prodigal son too, right? The father felt like he needed to let his kid go. The kid wanted the money. He took off. He hit rock bottom. Then he came back, and the father was ready to embrace him. Same kind of concept. You do what you feel is right as a parent. And if they leave, that's the prodigal son story right there. Hey, well, I love you, son. I love you, daughter. Good luck out there. And then you just trust God at that point and be there with open arms. But a lot of us parents, we walk on eggshells because we don't want to scare our kid. We don't want to scare our daughter into the arms of another man. We don't want to scare our kid into moving across country to get away from us. And we can't do that. We can't walk on eggshells. We got to pray, seek God, do what we feel is right for our kid, and invest. The biggest investment of our life as parents, right? So with that being said, God bless you guys. Much love. I'm going to hope to continue, and hopefully this did something for you. Like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your brother, share it with your sister, share it with your mom, your friend. We all know somebody that is going through this as a parent. You know what I mean? So let's help each other out. All right. God bless.